Welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisa Elvin Stoltore, and I'm a genealogist and a passionate traveler. Over the last year and a half, almost 2 years now, I've been featuring each Fijoa or King's daughter and getting to know their stories a little bit better. There are over 700 of them. We're on episode number 182. We've come a long way. We've got a long way to go. Today, before we begin, let me show you ways that you can help support the channel. The first three are ways. Subscribe, like, and notify. This is on your left hand. So subscribe, like, and notify will help the logarithms of YouTube and help my channel kind of get more attention. And then the other three are ways that you can financially support the channel. We have super thanks, which YouTube permitted me to do as soon as I got 1,000 subscribers. So thank you to all of you who have been with me all along. And we also have Patreon and Coffee, which are external sites where you can go on and support the channel as well. So with that being said, let's get started. So the suggestion for episode 182, Marguerite Blaise, it came from a viewer. And when I looked in my files, nobody. So I'm really excited to explore Marguerite a little bit better. So Marguerite was born in 1653 in Nantes, in France. And that particular city, it's a very large city. And it is part of the Pays de la Loire region, as you can see in the circle. And inside that region, it's La Loire Atlantique, and Nantes is right there on the right side of that circle. It has about 320,000 people living there. It's one of the 6 largest in France. Its origins are from the Bronze Era, and you could truly make a study of its history just from the 1st to the 15th century. By the 15th century, we saw Nantes come into its own and truly become a power player. The Edict of Nantes, which legalized the religion of Protestantism in France, was signed here in 1598. Nantes was not subjected to the Protestants' revolt and all of that happened in La Rochelle. It continued to expand its import business. Shipping trade was largely focused on wine, sugar, salt, and fabrics. In a sad twist, Nantes became a large part of the French slave trade during the 1700s. They would go and get the slaves from West Africa and bring them back. Nantes is famous for its vineyard that produces muscadet white wine. Upon her father's death, she would leave for New France as a fille du roi on Le Jean-Baptiste, and she would arrive in New France on June 30th, 1669, carrying with her a dowry worth about 250 pounds. And she would select, and who would select her? His name, Jean Paquet, and he was born in 1640, Pamprou in France, which is found in the Nouvelle-Aquitaine in the département de Deux-Sèvres. His parents were Jean Paquet and Suzanne Biredeau. And Deux-Sèvres, you can see it's really up north in France. This is the church where he would have been baptized in Pamprou. And currently there are about 1,700 people that live in this very charming commune. Remember, commune in France means townships, or a township. So we do not have a marriage record. I don't have a marriage record for them, but we know that they were married based on a contract September 30th, 1669. She did receive the 50 pounds from the king for her marriage. The tiny community of Saint-Augustin de Desmaures is where they settled. It's an interesting place in Quebec, as 17 filles du roi eventually settled here. It's a small place, so 17 ladies coming here is a proportionally really big place. And we have returned here a few times. In 1647, Jean Juchereau, Lord of Mar, is given the seigneury that includes this very small village. By 1668, the territory begins to be occupied. It was then called de Mar. By 1671, the community mill was established at Lake Saint-Augustin by the son of the original lord, also named Jean Juchereau de la Ferté. By 1685, Paul Augustin Juchereau de Bar becomes the third seigneur of this community. The name of the parish most probably comes from his first name. In 1691, the establishment of this parish is finally recognized. Although there are no official documents that prove this date, it is the unofficial start of this parish. At this time, there were approximately only 200 people that live here. So you can see on, um, on the map, it looks far away, but it's not very far away from Quebec City at all. This is the church that eventually was created, and this is actually where they settled. We have the 17 Filles du Roi établies dans la Seigneur de Desmaures. This is the 17 Filles du Roi who were established in this place, and we have it circled there. That is where Marguerite would make her claim. And this is taken from a society that I will be giving you the links to. Love that map. A shocking twist of fate. He passes away within a few months of their marriage. What is she to do? She's in a strange country, completely, alone. Let's see what happens. So along comes Isaac Arnois. He was born in 1641 in Yvetot, France. This particular commune is found in Normandy region and is part of the Seine-Maritime region. This is the current church of Saint-Pierre d'Yvetot, which was actually built in the 1950s after the church that had been there for hundreds of years was destroyed in World War One. So the church that you see, it's kind of a circle. It's a marvel, really, and so it's a marvel of architecture and stained glass and all of that. The picture on the upper left is a depiction of the church as it existed. Yvetot is a very old city. Its origins date to at least 1024 during the reign of Richard II. Until the 1500s, the lords of Yvetot were called kings. That is, until King Henry IV took command of this village. And so this is the village. It looks amazing, as they all do. So that is where Isaac comes from when they get married. So remember that Marguerite got married September 30th, 1669. By January 18th, 1670, she's remarrying. So that means that he must have died. We have no death record, so he must have died fairly suddenly because there's talk of the 3 bands, so that would push us into December. More than likely, he died sometime between October and November. Just an incredible turn of events for her. So now they are remarried at Saint-Augustin-de-Desmaures. So let's have a look at the family they create. So they would end up having 7 children. We have Joseph, who married Angélique Petit and had 9 children, all of whom made it to adulthood. André did not marry. Marie-Madeleine married Philippe Amiot and had 3 children, all of whom made it. Marguerite married Jean Dubuc and had 3 children, all of whom made it. Laurent married Marianne Gilbert and had 11 children, 8 of whom. Charles contracted a marriage, but it was annulled, and nothing else is known about him. Eustache married Marie-Thérèse Chabot and had 6 children, all of whom made it. So in 1674, Isaac, her husband, filed a complaint accusing Pierre Campagna of slandering his wife. Pierre Campagna was the husband of Anne-Françoise Richard, the fille du roi that we profile in episode 75. When Pierre was on the stand, he revealed that another Pierre Martin was the real culprit. So he was exonerated, and the other Pierre Martin was accused and had to presumably make amends. But I love that he came to his wife's honor. So Isaac would pass away on the 22nd of March, 1703, and was buried at Saint-Foy. On his record, it does indicate that he was a resident of Saint-Augustin-de-Desmaures, but probably due to his cause of death, which may have been due to an epidemic, he was buried quickly. At his death, he and Marguerite would have been married 33 years. Marguerite herself would outlive him by 23 years, dying at the age of 73 on June 15th, 1726. She and Isaac would have 69 descendants by 1729. Just a remarkable study. There are 2 societies in Quebec. that I really, really am impressed with in terms of Filles du Roi. One of them is the Société d'Histoire de Saint-Augustin de Damas. I wanted to just highlight them. If your family comes from there, you need to access this. And they've got lots and lots of resources for you. Please have a look at this website. You will not be disappointed. And here are my favorite resources. We have La Société des Filles du Roi. It's been around since 1994, going on its 30th year. If you want to become a member, you need to demonstrate your lineage, and they will send you a beautiful certificate. And there's a journal that comes twice a year by email. Just a really, really good society. And also, their website has a lot of resources for you. And their back issues, if you become a member, you have access to that as well. We have also a new kid on the block, the Quebec Genealogical E-Society, a wonderful society that helps just overall Quebec. They've got lots and lots of webinars that they've done, and I would encourage you to check them out as well. The new kid on the block for me is La Société d'Histoire des Filles du Roi. I kind of found my way to them through some of the books that I got at Christmas time and kind of dug into them, their history and all of that and what they do. It really is an amazing, amazing society as well. So check that out and see all the things that they're doing. I think you'll be very, very pleased. And so we honor Marguerite Blaise, I guess that's how you would pronounce it. She is just a remarkable lady in that she was able to come from a place called Nantes, which is a very evolved and very, reputable historical place, and come into the wilderness that was the Nouvelle France. And she comes here, gets married, he dies, she has to remarry, and thankfully she was able to sustain and survive, and that is why our viewer who requested her is alive today, because of her. And so we bless her memory, we thank her for her contribution, and we say her name, Marguerite Blaise. Thank you for coming to our shores. Until I see you on episode 183, au revoir.